And howdy ho everybody, and welcome to another Schematics trailer analysis video. I'm BillyMFMays, once again joined by BlindIRL and Adfo. Say hi everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey guys, and today we're going to be looking at Mutant Year Zero, Road to Eden, a game developed by the Bearded Ladies and published by Funcom. So we're going to watch the trailer in real time, and we'll be right back with you guys in just a moment.
It may be hard to imagine, but just a few centuries from now, this magnificent creature could carry a crossbow and be a sassy little duck.
You don't know who the hell you're messing with, do you? Don't even think you're walking out of here. Trust me, I'm not annoying. Shut the hell up.
Stay right there.
I'm Ducks, and he's Borman.
I think you've mistaken me for someone who gives a duck.
Time to kick some ass!
Here's the problem. Eden's a fairy tale.
If Hammond thinks there's an Eden, there's an Eden. Believe me.
Let's dance.
And we're back, and now we're going to watch the trailer at half speed and go into painstaking detail about every little thing that we see. So without further ado, let's begin. Ducks!
See, you guys went like the exact opposite way I was gonna go with that. I was gonna go duck!
You could say lamb. I mean,
Yeah.
Quack.
Beautiful pictures. And here we are.
it's even more glorious when it's slowed down, by the way.
Yeah. So we can play duck.
Well, okay, so this is like kind of your character introduction trailer, also showing some gameplay.
Yeah.
So Mutant Year Zero is kind of like a mix of stealth and kind of XCOM turn-based-y gameplay. Once we get a good shot of like right there with the UI, we should pause, I think.
Yeah.
So right here, we got our pretty standard XCOM affair stuff. Turn-based combat things are pretty easy to decipher. It looks like we've got some sort of true shot thing on the far right down at the bottom. Right next to that, I have no idea what that icon could be. And then I guess we just have our various abilities for ducks here. We've got what looks kind of like some sort of hiding thing in the trash bin, I would guess. Maybe some sort of stealth boost. No idea about the rest of it aside from the obvious like fire, grenades, and sprint.
Well, it's sprint, fire, grenade, I think Overwatch.
Perhaps, yeah.
The next thing I think is hide, because I know you can split up your team before you go into battle. Because the interesting bit on this game is you have a real-time part.
Yeah.
It's not only strategy, but you're walking around, and as soon as it gets into a fight, it becomes round-based strategy game. So you can split up your team and get into position before you trigger the fight. Yeah, I have no clue what the thing next to the garbage bin is. It looks like toilet paper to me.
Could be just throw something.
Clearly it's to throw a distraction.
Yeah, I mean, the garbage can could also just be, hey, delete your character and start over. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm probably the worst when it comes to reading iconography. Just years of World of Warcraft, you know, it's hotbar based. And for most of the icons, I still can't tell what they actually are.
I love the look of just the art style of the game in general. It looks so polished and clean.
Yeah.
And even like when they pan out, like the areas seem quite expansive, like size-wise.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like it's actually not clean at all, but that's part of the charm, right? You know, XCOM is a very clean game, and this one has a little bit more grit and blur to it, which, you know, fits the aesthetic and the theme.
It's definitely gritty.
By the way, what I really like is the destructible environment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like you see them crashing through boards and walls.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's more of the real-time element or if that's part of the turn-based side.
No, it's part of the turn-based. Okay, I've got to admit, I cheated a little bit.
Adfo, how could you?
Yeah, oh my god, don't hit me. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I watched a little bit of gameplay footage that is out there on YouTube, and there was a scene where you throw a grenade to a tree where an enemy hides, and you completely destroy the tree and take away the cover, of course, from the enemy. Or there was another scene where a giant robot walks through a building and destroys their entire building, which of course destroys all the cover the building gave to the map. And during the battle you kind of shape the environment, and that forces you to approach the situation differently as the battle progresses, which I really like.
That's not totally new. I have played other turn-based strategy games with destructible cover before.
I never said it's new, I just said I liked it.
Just the way this game does it. Its art style works perfectly, and everything, like as Billy said, everything's very grimy and dirty. But the reason I was saying it was clean, like not literally clean as in polished, but clean as in everything is immediately apparent. So any scene where you see the tactical screen, everything is very clear and obvious and you know what you're looking at, which is really good for this type of games because you'll have your squad, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you can see everything and you can predict what's going to happen and where you're going is going to be immediately obvious. One of my longtime issues with the Firaxis XCOM games is it's very muddy and it's very hard to tell. And there's large portions of time where you'll be rotating the camera around going, if I sit here, am I actually going to be able to hit this? And then you go there and you click it, your character runs over, and then it's like, well, I've wasted a move now because I can't actually hit this guy from here.
That's actually a thing that I really like here as well. Before you make the move and you're in your movement tool and hover over the tiles to decide where you want to go, it directly tells you the hit chances on each and every enemy that is in your sight.
Well, it does in XCOM too.
No, it doesn't. I wasn't sure, so I looked it up. It just tells you when you're about to shoot what your chances are, but not before you make the move itself.
It's a case where the visual information isn't cluttered. In XCOM, there's so many like grids and icons, and sure, it all makes sense, but this looks nice and clean.
Okay, pause again.
Superhero landing.
Well, this is giving us little ideas of each character's powers, right? Because this seems to be pretty character-based.
Yeah, and since you only have 3 protagonists, not like in XCOM where you basically have a whole army of people with different ability and classes, I know that you can change your classes in air quotes here via mutation, so you mutate your character and give him new abilities, so you don't have strict and pre-built classes per se, but you can basically change them. I don't know if you can change them on the fly, so in a battle I'm guessing not, but between the battles I think you can change them, or at least in your main hub or in your home base. And Duck, as we saw earlier, has wings, obviously, because he's a duck and he can fly. And she, at some point, it looks like, can jump very high and potentially very far.
And poor Boar just has to sit there and watch.
Just thinking about THQ's Biomutant now.
Well, Biomutant isn't a strategy game, right?
No, that's an action RPG, but I don't know, it's just a similar premise, and I kind of like it when multiple games come out around the same time with a similar premise, because it's cool. People are thinking along the same lines.
Haha, exploration.
The nice thing about this kind of game is that since you are just with 3 characters, you're not having to build an army or having to deal with losses or like roguelike elements. You can keep the story a little bit more personal while still having these, tactical gameplay rather than just, oh yeah, this guy that I just recruited probably gonna die on the next mission, so don't get attached. And you can't have character-based stories.
A little bit more of an SRPG. I mean, on the contrary, I think that games like XCOM or games like BattleTech have more of a procedurally generated story, similar to games like RimWorld. Like, even though there isn't a written story, it's more of a procedural, you make the story would. Like, you get the story that you make, right? But a game like this, yes, you can have more of a strategy RPG layer to it and have more of a, as you said, a personal-based story.
It's coming out sometime later this year.
This looks really damn cool. I want to see more of this game, and I know there's more of this game to see, and I've watched some of that footage as well that Adfo was referring to earlier, and I'm excited for this one. This game looks highly polished and very intriguing.
Yeah.
It'll just be a nice take on the that style of tactics gameplay. I feel like a lot of games that have come out have just tried to replicate the newer XCOM formula. This one feels a little bit more like a proper deviation from that, just doing its own thing. It still has a lot of that same DNA, of course, because, that's just kind of a genre staple, right? But again, it's not focusing on large armies. It's not focusing on build up procedurally generated armies, build up a procedurally generated base. You are just taking your 3 main characters and having a nice, probably overly silly Last of Us style, dark and gritty apocalyptic storyline. and just kind of having fun with that. And then the other one I know is the Mario and Rabbids game that came out, and I feel like that also did enough to have its own spin on it, but it probably didn't feel that different. It was a case where like, yeah, it just feels like XCOM but with kid-friendly Mario and Rabbids, which are like the minions of gaming.
There isn't enough of these types of games. We need more, so anything is good in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you guys for joining us, taking a look at Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden. Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see you guys in the next video, so take care.
Cheers.
Bye.